Get ready to hear the truth about America. A news show that isn't allergic to the facts. The Bold Conservative. Now, here's your host, James Ledbetter.
All right. So this is going to be kind of strange. Get this, okay? After losing a Supreme Court decision that rejected President Trump's claim of immunity from a New York prosecutor's request to provide his tax returns and financial records, Trump on Thursday fired off tweets alleging prosecutorial misconduct and presidential harassment. So, and see, what's going on with the Supreme Court? You know, it's like they're trying to force President Trump to give over his financial records. As soon as he does this, the like we talked about last week, the Democrats will have access to those records because now they become public. But the Supreme Court ruled that the Democrats in Congress couldn't have those records. Well, what do you think is going to happen when this prosecutor in New York gets them? They're going to leak to every member of Congress. So now either way, Trump is right to argue about this. These are his personal records. These records have nothing to do with anything. But they want them because they want to be able to push them through the media. That's another entity that will end up with these records, is the media. So, and this is what Trump is arguing, that his tax records and personal and corporate financial information could not be disclosed because he was immune from prosecution while in office. The court rejected that argument, according to the New York Times. So in a companion ruling Thursday, like we just talked about, the court said Congress cannot see records it has requested, sending the duel between Trump and Congress back to a lower court. Although the practical effect of the court's actions is such that records are unlikely to be released before the November election, Trump lashed out at the ruling. And this is basically what Trump just tweeted on July 9th. The Supreme Court sends case back to lower court. Arguments to continue. This is all a political prosecution. I won the Mueller witch hunt and others, and now I have to keep fighting in a political corrupt New York. Not fair to this presidency or administration. And then he tweeted shortly after, courts in the past have given broad deference, but not me. So basically, Trump fired off a series of tweets about the investigation of his campaign that took place during the waning days of the Obama administration. You remember, the FBI, we call it the Obama FBI, which they were all fired. Most of them were, but there's still people there. There's still part of the Obama FBI still there. We had a totally corrupt previous administration, including a president and vice president who spied on my campaign, Trump says, and got caught, and nothing happened to them. This crime was taking place even before my election. Everyone knows it, and yet all are frozen stiff with fear. No Republican Senate judiciary response. No justice, no FBI, no nothing. Major horror show reports on Comey and McCabe. Guilty as hell. Nothing happens. Catch Obama and Biden cold. Nothing. A 3-year, $45 million Mueller hoax failed. Investigated everything, Trump tweeted. And he's right. They literally investigated everything. They included everything but the kitchen sink in that report. Mueller literally wrote in that tweet, well, he didn't write it, but he had it written, that no U.S. citizen colluded with the Russia to interfere in the 2016 election. So that should be the end of it, but no, it's not. It's absolutely not. Now the Supreme Court gives a delay ruling that they would never have given for another president. This is about prosecutorial misconduct, Trump says. We catch the other side spying on my campaign, the biggest political game and scandal in U.S. history, and nothing happens. Think about what Richard Nixon did, what he was accused of doing, and that was spying on the DNC. He literally lived the rest of his life with that over his head. Now you have the Obama administration spy on his political enemies, and nothing. Why? Is Obama beyond reproach? Can we not investigate Obama and Biden? Biden's running for office, but wait, so was Trump when he was being investigated. You see how this works? It's insane, folks. I mean, the Supreme Court's decision said a president does not have the absolute right to block the release of the documents sought by, get this, Democratic Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. Didn't mind putting the Democratic part in there. He's a Democrat. That's the only reason why he wants these documents. His tax returns, all of his financial records, flailed in front of the whole world for the whole world to see. So here's what Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. wrote. No citizen, not even the president, is categorically above the common duty to produce evidence when called upon in a criminal proceeding. What criminal proceeding? You see what I'm saying? However, the ruling means Trump can fight. He can still fight the release of the documents by objecting to the scope of what is requested. Both opinions were written by Roberts and supported by a 7-2 count, with Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito dissenting in both cases. So Vance has said he wanted the records in connection with payments the Trump organization made before the 2016 election. That's another witch hunt, plain and simple. You all know this. It's just the way it is. They're going to keep doing this until Trump's no longer president. And then when the next Republican president gets elected, they'll start on him. So, Jay Sekulow, a lawyer for Trump, saw the glass as half full. And this is what Jay Sekulow said. We are pleased that in the decision issued today, the Supreme Court has temporarily blocked both Congress and New York prosecutors from obtaining the presidential financial records, he said in a statement. we will now proceed to raise additional constitutional and legal issues in the lower courts. So Trump can still fight this, which is cool, because, I mean, it's just the way it is, right? I mean, but they're just going to keep going after him. So, I mean, we cannot let this become the new normal. And what they don't seem to understand is when the next Democrat is elected into office, we're going to give him hell. And then they're going to cry and complain, what are you doing? This is unconstitutional. But you did it to Trump. You did it to Trump and his campaign for over 4 years. And when he gets reelected, they're going to keep going and keep going and keep going until finally Trump's out of office. And like I say, they'll go after the next Republican that's elected. That's what they do. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Think about what I've said. Tune in each time I release. I share. As soon as I release and I publish, I share. Be sure to subscribe at the bottom of this podcast that you're listening to. Subscribe so that you get notifications whenever an article is published. I thank you all for listening. Each one of you have a blessed and wonderful day.